Hey Clashers, I have played a clan war with some of the best players in the entire world. Gaku, Yoyo, Klaus, and many more. So the question is, what strategies are those players running? As well, I want to use this clan war as an example because our opponents were a Champion 2 clan. I have seen many people saying, hey, Town 17 is so easy and everything. Well, if bases are getting closer to maxed out or being in general well designed, players are struggling. A Champion 2 clan would have easily gotten the perfect score in many of the matches, as they have received. Take a look at this log. Only 3 matches in total were not perfect scores. That is really solid. Which means Town 17 is just actually way more harder than I thought. I knew it would be harder than Town 16, but this really shows only 77 stars. That's quite impressive, to say the least, how difficult Town 17 can be if you have solid base layouts and if you have a solid upgrade level. No surprise. Town 17, if they're really fresh, of course it feels easy. But it feels like players are making the same mistake with every single time a new town releases. Well, let me tell you that. Wait a little bit for people to upgrade and you will see how hard Town 17 actually is. So now, let's try to counteract that. Let's see what the best strategies are to counter Town 17. And we are starting with Air, we're starting with Super Dragons from RS, who is really close to the top 10 globally and is always around that area because he's one of the best air attackers out there. And he's running the Super Dragon army. That's actually the army which I have copied as well, to great success. I have seen many people saying, iTzu, I cannot use the Flame Flinger. I don't get great value with the Flame Flinger. Well, you are not supposed to tank down like, I don't know, 10 merged archer towers, 10,000 air defense, whatever, or like even 100. Okay, never mind, that's not there anymore. But in the end, it's all about taking down one corner of the base. That's it. You don't really care about the crazy value, you care about pathing, okay? That's the important thing, where I see a lot of people are doing the mistake of trying to go for value in just the buildings itself and not where that value is. The next thing is setting up the pathing again on the other side with the Archer Queen. Creating the funneling into the town hall now, and that's where the Super Dragons are coming into. The next thing you might notice with his army composition, more specific about the Warden, is the Angry Jelly. That is something which you can play. It's like kind of like the Owl to some degree, but this makes sure that the Warden is staying closer to the dragons and is less likely staying behind. I have seen that from some players. Some people like it, some people don't like it as much, but RS really likes the parity of bringing that Angry Jelly, which turns the Warden into only defense targeting in the beginning, and with that, he's staying closer. As well, those stacked backends, and take a look at that, he's going into 2 fire spitters, but those stacked backends are not that scary if you're actually using the Minion Prince. And that's the important thing here. Minion Prince is just an incredible strong hero, especially with the ability in those air attacks. As well, take a look at this, he's using the King. The King right now with air attacks is incredibly strong with one difference. You can use the Royal Champion as well, but then you should bring the recall spell for extra safety for your Archer Queen. This base got completely smashed. It was one of the best upgraded bases on the other team. So you see, Town 17 looks easy if executed perfectly, but things can go wrong quite easily. But let's take a look at the next air attack and what strategy that is. And Gaku likes to bring the Super Dragons as well, but as I just said, he's bringing the recall spell now to the party, which means he's bringing the Royal Champion. This is the important rule of thumb, where you have the recall spell, bring the Royal Champ. If you have no recall spell, bring the Barbarian King as a tank for your Archer Queen as extra safety. The goal for this attack pretty much is to clear out one corner or one flank of the Super Dragons, and then go on the other side with the Queen. As well, the difference here is that you're doing a small Queen charge. You bring like another healer to empower the Queen even more. You can Wallbreaker in, so you have a small Queen charge alongside with those dragons. They are now pushing into the core. Yet again, he's going to use for the core because that's where everything is stacked up, right? Like, take a look at this. Everything is stacked up in the core. This is not where he's going to use the Minion Prince ability. Again, you want to layer the Warden and the Minion Prince ability. Do not use both at the same time. Either use the Warden first and then the Minion Prince, or the other way around. This time, he had to face the score really early. That's why he had to use the Minion Prince early as well, and then later on the Warden ability to protect everything. The queen, as this is going on, just keep pushing around the outside, and this is really the clutch thing now with having the Royal Champ to snipe down back-end defenses, back-end air defense, whatever he wants to take down. So this is really the cool thing about this version with the recall, where you are allowed to bring the Royal Champion without having your queen going down, which would be then the other option if you have no protection for her and no recall spell to safety. Overall, both options are incredibly strong, and don't worry, you can bring regular dragons with dragon riders instead of the super dragons as well, but you can clearly see the top players are right now preferring the super dragons because they're just so tanky, so strong, and the splash they're providing is just a little bit better off the regular dragons. But since it's a super version, since it's a super troop, I know it costs Stark Elixir and not everyone can spend that. So you can copy the exact same army, just replace the super dragons with regular dragons and with some dragon riders. You will have great success as well. You have seen such an overkill on this base, then regular dragons will completely work fine as well. But now with having 2 air attacks, let's move to the ground. And for ground, we're checking out Klaus' new event troop army composition. Because this base is quite rushed, I would say we take a look at the number 1 base, because it used the exact same army composition, but it wasn't Klaus to attack it. But I just want to share with you that Klaus is using the same army as well. So now let's take a look at the base number 1. And the concept with this army composition is to have pretty much the similar way of spamming root riders or going with mass titans. Clear one side with your king and queen, then one corner with your siege barracks and some support of the cookies, and then the root riders in between. It is pretty much the same concept with all of those strategies, and it just works so great. This is why you can do it with multiple different strategies. On this one, you're playing the Royal Champ right behind as well with this equipment combination. And now I have to admit something, which is really important. You should really know about the strength level of the Royal Champion equipments. Because whenever I'm sharing with you like the top equipments, I typically share with you for ground attacks the Rocket Spear with Hawks. The main reason why I say that is because I have seen the pros use it in the World Championship, and to me that was then, yep, the pros are using it, it has to be really good. But actually I just recently found out that that is kind of like a scam, to be honest. This equipment combination right here, I highly recommend this to every ground attacker because it is equally or maybe even a bit better than Rocket Spear with Hawks. Now you might wonder, iTzu, okay, I don't know what is going on, but why would you say that when all of the pros are running Hog with Spear? The reasoning is pretty simple. The pro players are playing in hard mode, which means the defenses are dealing more damage and the heroes have less hit points, which means this equipment combination with less hit points on the Hogs and the Royal Champ have to pretty much go into melee mode, the Royal Champ is going down really, really quick. That's not good for hard mode. Instead, if you go with the Rocket Spear, you have the Royal Champion staying further back, away from the damage, and she is surviving longer. But most of us are not playing the hard mode. Without the hard mode, the defenses are dealing less damage, the Royal Champion has higher level equipment because on hard mode it is capped as well. So this equipment combination of Haste and Hog is completely fine. It's not using any stereo ore. So Haste Hog, go for it if you're a ground attacker like Super Witch, Titan attacks, Root Rider attacks. All of those strategies, you can use this equipment combination, no problem whatsoever. And Ryuda is actually using the same army composition as well, and it's just smashing bases. He's again as well using this equipment combination because it is just so good, and you want to have the Royal Champion staying in the pack of the Root Riders as well with the Warden together. And yes, you can still play the Spear. Don't get me wrong, Spear and Hog is still really solid. There's a reason why pros are using it. But still, it is more efficient in hard mode. As long as you're not playing the hard mode, it is not as crazy important to get the Rocket Spear and the Hog Rider Puppet. The Rocket Spear is especially important for hard mode with how the restrictions work over there. This is another really important disclaimer for you. Whenever you see pros are using something specific, it's not always working for you the best either. Because the pros are playing a different game at this point. They're playing the hard mode, which has complete different restrictions. The defenses have different interactions with the damage multipliers. And it's just, as you see with the Rocket Spear, it makes no sense to copy for you. You just get baited, as I did with the Rocket Spear Hog Rider combination. I would have still went with Haste and Hog if I would have known about this earlier. But let's get back to the attack, because the attack composition is overall really going based off this combination. The Haste Hog, take a look at this backend. The Royal Champion really going in strong with the bonus DPS which he has from the haste equipment. And then on top of that, you have the passive attack speed and the passive DPS increase on top of that for this equipment. And this base is as well completely smashed. Those were the top strategies from this clan war, what the pros, what the top players have used. Overall, it was a really fun one, playing alongside with all of those legends. And, well, I hope you enjoyed this as well. Let me know if I should do more often clan wars with those guys together. And maybe I should show some of my live attacks as well, because, well, I did some as well, but I thought you want to see the other attacks first of them. I would do more attacks for my recall Royal Champion Charge strategy in the near future. And I hope you will like that. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next Clash video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.